Hello, everybody. Hello. You know, I know when a person that is either in a narcissistic relationship or maybe in a narcissistic fog and they don't know they are, and then they read a title like mine, it's got to shock them, right? It's got to be like, what? What do you mean a blessing? Well, I can only, and this is for everybody, really. I can only speak for myself. You know, I learned after, of course, after the fact, but I learned so much about myself being in that relationship. Just, you know, the stuff I tolerated, why? Why would I tolerate that? Why would why would I ignore things that I clearly saw? I mean, it's amazing. And I've always been what society considers a smart, educated man, this and that. It I want people to understand this. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing. It's it's unexplainable. It really is because just like the phases of the love bomb stage, all those stages are real. That is exactly real. And I believe even the narcissist, this is a repetitive thing in their life, which is a perspective of life, which now I know. I'm out of it now. Now I can clearly see it's a perspective, right? And it's a narcissistic perspective. It's a pattern that they do. It's clear. It's not really hard to see now, only because I can see it now. And I learned, oh man, I learned so much. Just like here I am, an empath, raised raised in a household with complete love, no arguing, yelling, screaming, cussing, no disrespect of any kind of me and siblings and I, none of that. So I take this love, which is good. I want people to understand what I'm saying, which is a beautiful thing. As a child, that's all I know. So I'm thinking, as a child, everybody's household is like mine. Why would I think anything otherwise? That's my because the first world is in a child, the first world is where you live. Okay. So I take this love and I'm like, hey, I'm about to go out into the world and share this love and share it with a woman and blah, blah, blah. But little did I know the love I had was very rare. I did not know that. So now I understand what it fully means when they say opposites attract. Now I clearly understand what that means. I heard that a lot when I didn't know, but now that I'm out, it's clear. So as an empath, of course I like to help, especially somebody I love. It's like, hey, we can do this together, and so I naturally came in, which is a this is exactly what narcissistic people love. People that love to give love. But what the narcissists do not know is that we give love to assist them, to help them. They just do it to take it and then they're going to use it. Like the narcissist I gave love to, she used every single thing that I loved against me. So, like the first, just in it, I didn't understand because I'm like, I swear it feels like she's like competing with me inside this relationship. I'm like, everything that we created a business together, okay? And she made it feel like it was hers. I was trying to take it and I was trying to hide something from. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. We built this together. Why would I do any of that? It's like I would tell her, have I shown you any signs of disrespect, cheating, lying, taking money? No. Then why do you think like why are you doing that? Little did I know it was a narcissist. This is just the way they think. They think like that. It was so bad that I would see her text messages of her cheating, and I would just ignore them because I didn't because I didn't want to start a fight. Like, hey, what's up with these? This is how they act. Here's a normal situation. Hey, you see the phone, you see them conversating inappropriately with a person of the opposite sex. Hey, what is this? They're supposed to be scared, but they would go, hey, what are you doing in my phone? Why are you checking on me? The things that are in their perspective that do not make sense. They do very odd things. The one I was with, she would do very just weird, odd shit. She was a pathological, just lie for no reason. And when you come across people that lie for no reason and you're not a pathological liar, it throws me off. I'm like, why would somebody lie about that? That doesn't even make sense. So I remember one time we went to the emergency room for her, right? And the doc, not the doctor, the nurse, it was a male nurse, black guy. He takes her back. We're sitting there together. He takes her back. Then after it was done, he wheels her out. And then as we leave, she says, hey, that nurse guy tried to talk to me. I was like, what? It just out of the blue, just out the blue, right? What? And he saw you and he knew I was sitting here with you? Yeah, he just did it I was like, I was thinking to myself, so this guy would risk his job, his entire career, because he wants to try to talk to a patient, which I'm sure is not allowed, right? I'm sure of it. I'm sure it's in their contract, somewhere in the documentation. I'm sure that is not allowed, right? Just really weird shit. Was she trying to make me come back and then confront the guy and look like a complete idiot or something? I don't know. It was really weird, but she was just a horrible pathological liar. But I remember as a young child, I used to say to myself, I wonder if God gave us all a gift, put us here on earth and gave us all a gift and said, okay, go find it. That's what I used to say as a child, right? But now, as I think logically, because I'm not thinking like this as a child, I'm thinking, well, there's no way I could physically cover the world, all corners of the world, to try to find my gift. That's impossible. Now I know the gift was always within me. It just happened to be awakened. It had to be awakened, and my narcissistic relationship did that. It awakened the gift in me. Now I was prepared for this channel. What's up, Wayman? I was prepared for this channel 10 years. It took me 10 years to discover what I'm talking to you about today. 10 years. When I quit my job back in 2016, I did not know I was going to discover the sixth sense in 2024. I did not know that. That's a long time. First I had to realize I didn't own myself. That was the very first part. I was like, wait a minute, if something's wrong, something's not making sense. I'm making six figures. How come I'm not this and that like everybody on the internet says? And it was because I didn't own nothing, not even myself, and my credit report proved it back then. Period. Credit reports are your papers. Period. Do you own yourself in the United States of America or not? Your credit report says yes or no. Period. Once I owned myself and I realized millions of people didn't and didn't even know it, I was like, hey, wait a minute, I'm on to something. I'm on to something. Found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey helped me, man. If it wasn't for Mr. Ramsey, I was like, they were like, hey, everybody hates this guy. He think he's this and that. And I was like, he's not saying nothing but mathematics. Why do they hate him? I don't know. I said, I'm on to something. What? They're hating for absolutely no reason? No. But then when I got to part of Mr. Ramsey's plan where he talks about saving 15% for retirement while having a mortgage, I said, wait a minute, Mr. Ramsey, wait a minute. You told me to use the calculator all the way to this point. Till now, I stopped using the calculator because you can't save 15% of nothing when you have a mortgage. I said, I'm on to something. What it was, I owned myself. I didn't know that. Once I discovered that, I was like, millions of people, there's something psychological going on here that millions of people don't know. That's when I discovered that. But there was one more piece that it needs to be awakened in me. And the narcissist did that for me, awaken that part in me. Sure did. There are millions of narcissists. You hear me? Millions. They're everywhere. But this is the lovely thing about it. They all do the same stuff because they live in a perspective of the world that they think is the whole world. They don't know each person in the world has their own perspective. There's billions and they only have one. And they think it's only one. They think everybody fucks around. They think everybody is this and that. And they think everybody does this and that. No, no. I'm telling you right now, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. People messing around and fooling around. That's a perspective. There's a perspective of the world that people do not do that. There are a perspective of the world that people care. They respect their bodies. They're like, hey, there's a deadly disease out there that will kill you. No, thank you. No, no, no. Hey, everybody doesn't know. Everybody does it in that perspective of the world. That's the gift I have today. Now, it took something so traumatic because this was a traumatic experience. Let me tell you that. This the narcissistic woman I was with, she was horrible. She didn't care about nothing. Me, her children, nobody. You hear me? Nobody. Violent, physically, everything. Let me tell you something. I started wondering, should I be worried about my life? If that thought, listen, you guys got to understand something. Thoughts are energy, okay? They are energy. If that thought popped in my mind, the answer is yes, I need to leave. And that's exactly what I did. I escaped. You hear me? I escaped. I didn't know those people existed because I came out of House of Love. 100% love. I didn't know this. I didn't know people like that existed. Now I do. Now what I'm going to do is help people around the world avoid them because it doesn't matter. Narcissists are everywhere. Doesn't matter what language you speak, what race you are. That happens everywhere. Now people will hear this video and be like, "Well, you got a gift." How you know? A gift from God, blah, 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 blah. This is the gift I have from God. I can prove it. You understand me? I can prove it with mathematics. You want to hear? And check this out. The psychological is even a language. You want to hear some of it? Here, I'll give you a few. I'll give you a few sentences. You can't buy a house with a mortgage. How many people you think know that? Very few. It takes one day to buy a car, not 84 months. It doesn't matter if how a finance car is powered, gas or electric. It doesn't matter. You put in your credit card and you financing both. It doesn't matter. How many people you think know that? Very few. And I can prove it on a calculator. Here's the here. Let me give you guys a quick one, and then we'll get back to the main subject so you can understand how I got where I'm at. Okay. What I'm gonna share with you is a mathematical fact. That means it is fact. Capitalism is psychological, positive, and negative. 99% of the people live on the negative side are called debt slaves. The psychological part is they don't know they are. 0.5% live on the positive side. These people are debt free, but they don't know anything about the psychological part. They know debt is dumb and not to finance shit, da da da, but they don't know. They know that it's 0.5%. I live in the psychological part, which is the 0.5% that very few people live. Very few people live. So listen. Now you're probably thinking, well, am I a debt slave? I'm gonna give you the biggest red flag to determine if you are indeed a debt slave. Okay. Here's the biggest thing ever that you will never hear anywhere else in the world. You will never hear it on any other social media platform ever. You will never hear it again unless you come back to this channel. You understand? Go grab some money in your hand, physical money, anywhere. It doesn't matter. Money does not exist for debt slaves. I repeat, money does not exist for debt slaves. So grab any money around your house, preferably some dollar bills, 20s, 30s, 100, it doesn't matter. Grab it and hold it. Open up the calculator app with the other hand. Put in the amount of money that you have in your hand minus your car payment and hit enter. Now listen closely. According to the calculator, you don't have no money in your hand. If you do not have any money in your hand, you are indeed a debt slave. Now, imagine, say like you're holding a $20 bill in your hand. Okay. Imagine you handing that $20 bill to me. Now you open up the calculator, put in $20 minus no car payment. What does that equal? I have $20. I hand it back to you, it disappears. Do you understand? How many people you think know that? That's with a B. Billions don't know. So now I combine this traumatic experience with that too. Now, do you guys understand? Tony True says, bro, my ex-wife was a credit whore for sure. They are horrible. Now, luckily, now let me say my situation. Luckily, when I met her, I was already debt free in finance, and I was already that. So if I would have came across her and she was horrible with finances, her and I would have never been, because I wouldn't have been with her. That's a fact. Because I would never date a woman who's in debt. So that was not, money was not a problem in our relationship, because I definitely would have been, oh no, I'm not doing that. Because once I got myself out of debt and did what it takes, because it's a pain that comes with getting out of debt. Paying back every single dollar I owed was a painful process, and it was part of the process because I'll never forget it. But you know, people hear me say it was a blessing. And it was, because there were so many positive things outside of her. Let me tell you, let me explain my cocoon, okay? Everything in my cocoon, which is the old me, everything in my cocoon was absolutely perfect except her. Everything. This was another thing that was added to the her ammunition of using against me, and her gun, and her, psychological gun I'm talking about, not real, psychological. All right, psychological weapon against me. Let's use weapon. I'm not going to use gun. Weapon, so people don't be confused. To use against me, because she knew I loved our situation. It's like, it that's the crazy thing about narcissists. It's like everything is beautiful and you want to destroy it. Yes, because they do not know anything else. I remember when I came across her in the beginning, she had told me she was married once, right? Which I don't even believe that. There was no proof of it. But anyway, she was because they lie horribly. They really do lie, right? And damn, where was I going with that? Hmm. Oh yeah, okay. And she said, "Oh yeah," she showed me his Facebook. She was like, "Oh yeah, he got married and had children." I thought to myself, "You mean to tell me you guys were married, but you guys didn't have children?" But he instantly left. I said, "Something's not making sense here." And this is the crazy part about it, especially if you are in a narcissistic relationship right now. I want you to listen to this, okay? Listen to this closely. Ever since day one of me being with her, whenever I was around people that knew her, I would always get this feeling that there was something that I didn't know about her. They would always give me this energy that was like, yeah, they don't, he doesn't know, he doesn't know. Well, honestly, I already knew because I was in the relationship with her and I just wasn't saying nothing because I was thinking nobody knew her, but everybody knew. Everybody knew she was a physically violent person. Okay. But every time I was around family or people, there was just energy like, oh boy, you don't even know. Boy, did I not. Boy, did I not. She fooled. Hey, listen, you guys, I don't even know how many times she's fooled around on me. I don't even know. Not a clue. She would disappear at night. Hey, I got to run to Walmart. I'm like, at night. Some of these things I think about now. You, here's a good thing. Here's a good sign right here. Here's a good sign. Whenever a narcissist says something to you, and it stops you in your tracks, like, wait a minute, what? You know, that's a red flag. Okay, that is a red flag that something there doesn't make sense. That's why it's making you pause. She made me do that all the time, but I didn't know why I was pausing, but because they do things that don't make sense. She's like, "Oh, hey, I got to run to Walmart and grab something I forgot." And she'd be gone like for an hour, hour and a half. Look, going to Walmart. I'm like, "Damn, you was gone a long time." You know what she was doing? She was meeting dudes in parking lots. You hear me? She was having sex in cars. That's crazy, man. Oh my God, crazy. And you know what's so nasty? And then coming home to me, kissing me. Oh, disgusting. I'm here to help you people in these Hey, these people are horrible, man. They are horrible, and they will have you leave Earth early if you keep messing with them. You have to leave them. Oh man. And you probably read the title, Linnell, that was still a blessing. Yes, it was. It was still a blessing because I wouldn't be here today talking to you guys on the mic. The experience awakened me. You know, what I'm doing right now is just coming into what I am already. I know it's everything I'm saying is mathematical fact, so it is fact, but just coming into the sixth sense is psychological. Okay, it is psychological, and the psychological exists. Like, think about it. You can't buy a house with a mortgage. You can't. But millions of people believe they are. You can't own equity in a mortgaged house. That's mathematically impossible. Millions of people don't know that. Do you understand? That's how capitalism works. Millions of people don't know you can't do that. When you're in debt, you cannot save money on taxes. You cannot do that. That's impossible. Millions of people don't know that, and millions of people think they are. You cannot save for retirement while you're in debt. That's impossible. Millions of people don't know that. I don't speak the psychological in public because they don't understand that. Do you understand? They don't understand any of that. Soon, I'm saying it before it happens so you guys understand. Soon, the United States will know who I am, and then the world, because I will be helping people around the world. That's what I will be doing. I'm already doing it now. I've been doing it for 10 years. The last 10 years, S&B followers have been following me and seen my progression from where I started. Savings minus debt on YouTube. Savings minus debt on YouTube. Have been following me for 10 years. The sixth sense is real, people. It is real. And it's amazing. It's difficult to come into it, but if it wasn't for my narcissistic relationship, I don't know. This is that is the kind of pain. Listen, that is the kind of pain it took to awaken me. Linnell, it's like God was telling me, Linnell, your love is rare. It's very rare. Do you see now? Now I see. Most society and videos and YouTube, hey, don't trust no man, don't trust no woman, men, bitches are hoes, and this and that. Do you know all of that as a perspective, people? You do not have to live there. That's a perspective, and each person that you watch telling you that stuff, they're only telling you about their perspective. You don't know how that person grew up. Maybe they were abused when they were a child. Maybe, who knows? Maybe their parents beat them, and they're not going to tell you that on the video. They're just telling you about what you got to look at the background. How did you come to the perspective that you have, that you walk around calling every woman a bitch and a hoe and stuff? If you keep saying that, that's exactly what you're going to get. That's a perspective. Listen, none of that is true. I mean, it's true in that perspective, but if you don't want to live there, you don't have to live there. I can help you get out of that perspective. Yes, there are a lot of people that live there. Like, here, let me give you an example. Say like I'm out in public, okay? A woman approaches me and she says, "Hey, I'm attracted to you. I want to get to know you." First question I'm gonna ask, "Are you married? Because I see a ring on your finger." And she turns to me and says, "Yes." The conversation's over. What are you talking to me for? You know why a woman would do that? Because she's looking for the energy. She's looking for a man that likes to mess with women that cheat on their husbands. Those energies are attracted to each other. She's going to find that man because there are men out there that have no problem getting involved with that. Next thing you know, they're in the same perspective. Do you understand? That's why they're attracted to each other. A woman that fools around on her husband and approaches me, she's not going to get that energy from me because I don't do that. It wouldn't matter. And I know guys like, oh man, what if her body is this and that? It doesn't matter what she looks like. Do you understand? If I did the perspective I live, I always got to give myself an example. If I did that, if I messed with a woman who was married, that means I have to start all over personally. And I have to start where I'm at today. That means I have to start all over because I have to pay for what I did. Because if I involve myself with a married woman and knowingly, listen, knowingly involve myself with a married woman, that means now I have to pay for that. You don't get to just do it and get away with it, like you people out there that you're with somebody and you fooled around on your partner several times and gotten away with it. You haven't gotten away with it. You have to pay for that. It's energy. It's in your brain. As soon as listen, if you're with somebody and you never fooled around on the person, there is no energy right there. It's nothing, no negative energy. It's nothing in there because nothing has happened. As soon as you do it and then you come back and think it's there because it's in your mind. Now it's in the and now it's in the relationship. Now your partner's going to be like, "Hey, why are you acting weird? You're acting different." They don't know why they're picking up that energy because they don't know energy exists. They don't even know. Where I live, let me let you guys understand the perspective of where I live. I have no negativity, no debt, no stress, no problems of any, absolute none at all, any. I'm in a place that people do not believe exists. Sleeping is not for suckers. Sleeping is for your brain, people. The only way for your brain to heal itself, you have to be sleep. Can you change it? Can you change the oil of a car while it's running? Can you do that? Can you say, "Hey, leave it running. I'm gonna change the oil"? You can't do that. It's the same goes for your brain. You need to be not doing anything for your brain to repair itself. My brain gets plenty of sleep every single night. Not regular sleep. You know how much I appreciate the sleep and peace I get that I did not get being with the narcissist? Oh my God, arguing every single week. every week, not knowing why. Now I know why. Most of the arguments happen on a Friday, so she could leave for the weekend. I'm going to stay at my son's grandparents' house. I've had enough of you. No, I was saying to myself, no, you're not. You're not staying at your grandparents' house, you little kid. Little did she know, I was happy that she left because I had 2 full days of peace without her black ass there. It was wonderful. Oh, it was so beautiful, just peace. She was probably wondering, how come he ain't texting me and calling me and wondering where I'm at? Because I'm glad you're gone. That's why. She would come home. I didn't say a word. Hey, where you been? Why you do that? Hey, that ain't none of my business because soon you won't even be seeing me here. And it's so crazy. They really believe, listen, in their minds, they really believe you're going to stay there and take it. And the sad part is there are millions of people that do stay in there for decades. Oh, I'm staying for the children. I'm staying. No, you're not. The children are growing. Listen, the children are growing up seeing that abusive behavior, and then they're going to grow up believing that that's normal. Oh, yeah, sometimes my mom slaps my dad in the face, but that's all right. He's a man. No, it's not. None of that is all right. None of it. I never sleep because sleep is the cousin of death. Huh. But what about your brain, Tony? If you never sleep, let me ask you this, Tony, because I'm curious. How do you repair your brain if you don't sleep? I'm just curious. How do people like that? I've always curious. How do people that don't sleep, how do they repair their brain? I'm curious. Because I'm doing things that are unbelievable right now, as much sleep as man, it's crazy. It's unbelievable. Do you guys understand the world will soon know who I am? The world. I know I found my gift. You guys understand that? I have. That's a fact. This gift has changed my entire life. Every person will know that speaks to me. Everywhere I go, people stop me and talk to me. Hey, you look like some. I was in Costco just yesterday. Hey, man, you look like a movie star. And this and that. I'm saying to myself, I know why you're doing that because of the energy that's coming off of me. You just don't know who you're talking to yet. You don't know. But I just welcome. I don't walk around with this attitude. You guys would know it's a welcoming attitude. Hi, hey, how you doing, ma'am? Come on in, sir. This and that. It's respect for everybody. People in public are not used to that. That's why I do it. Hold the door open. Hey, you look nice today. People are not used to just compliments. They just leave your head down, heads in the phone. I don't. I put my phone in my pocket and leave my head up so I can see what's going on. Oh, those are. Oh, okay. All right, cool. I'm not a Nas fan, so I missed it. Hey, listen, I'm not saying Nas is bad. I was just never a fan of his. That's all. I was just never a fan of his. This gift will change your entire life. If you have low self esteem, if you had low self esteem, self confident issues, that all changes. It will change forever. Well, you probably thinking, well, LJ, how do you know? How do you know that will change? Because listen, here's an example. I don't listen to people in debt talk about money. I don't do that. You know how many people out there, you know how many videos on YouTube telling you how you can own a house with mortgages? You can't do any of that. You guys, that's the gift. You might as well just remove all the videos that are telling you guys to do that. You can't buy a house with a mortgage. You can't own equity. You can't put a renter in it and collect monthly income and you can't do any of that. All of that is mathematically impossible. They just don't know that, people. Those guys are the housing market. They make up the housing market. Without them, there is no housing market. Listen closely. Okay, listen. Anything a debt slave wants, they have to ask the bank first. If they want gas, if they want food, if they want a car, if they want a house, if they want to go on vacation, if they want to invest and retire, they have to ask the bank for everything. You don't you, you don't listen to debt slaves talk about money and investing. They don't know that they don't know what they're talking about. You can't appreciation. If you have a mortgage, appreciation is you don't own it. They believe. Listen, say like they put 20% down on a house to avoid PMI, all that stupid bank, all that bank lingo garbage. That's bank stuff. Do you guys understand that? You cannot own a house for 20% of the purchase price. Okay. You can't do that. Most definitely not 3.5% of the purchase price. You can't do that. It takes it if I walked out in public and said, "Hey, everybody, it takes 1 day to buy a house." Do you think anybody would understand what I'm saying? Absolutely not. Here I am just I'm yelling out a mathematical truth and nobody understands what I'm saying. That's what I mean. Though I wouldn't do that because I don't want to change anything. Do you know how beautiful life is when you have absolutely no debt? Things are not expensive. It's not gas. You see gas. Listen, you see gas at $5 a gallon. Okay. Say like you had your exact same car today, right now that you're driving, right? But you didn't have any payments. You owned it. Would you care if gas was $5 a gallon? Exactly. The only reason why you care gas is $5 a gallon because you're making car payments and you're putting a credit card in and you're financing gasoline with your credit card. That's why you think it's expensive. But when you're debt free, it's the sale. Listen, the sale price of everything only applies to cash buyers, not for people paying with credit cards. Once you understand this, and then you get out into the finance world, you will dominate anything. Listen, what I'm going to do, people don't even really understand. I'm going to open a tax firm. Most definitely going to own a tax firm. Definitely doing that. That's a fact, right? Tax firm first, and then I'm only bringing in the people that want to be wealthy forever, for generations. Those are the only clients. Because people that have money, listen closely. People that have real money will come to this channel and listen to me speak. This is what people, if you've been in debt all your life, this is what you guys don't. It's a language that there's another language about money that you don't know that exists when you have money. Real money, not credit money. I'm talking about real money. So when people with real money come to my channel and listen to hear me speak, they will know that I know because they can hear me speak. Because nobody's above mathematics. Nobody. How you use the tool is different. People are very good using the tool. Some people are not. This was the last piece I needed that I didn't know I needed to complete the awakening process for me to even be on the mic talking to you. Know how long it took me to uh, just start accepting this mathematical fact of a gift that I have. It took a minute because you have to worry about people. Oh, what are people going to say? They think you're crazy. All God said, "Hey, it's math. If they don't trust math, that's their problem, not yours." If I can prove everything I'm saying with math, and somebody doesn't believe it, there's nothing I can do about that. That's I just turn and walk away. That's like saying, "Hey, I don't believe 1 + 1 = 2. Make me believe it." What would you do if somebody said that to you? You would turn and walk away because it makes absolutely no sense for somebody to say that. So if somebody says that's not true, I can own equity. I borrowed this and this. Hey, you turn and walk away. They're just running the program that the bank taught them. There is no us. Listen, once I understood this whole thing, there is no me without them. I'm not here to change anything. I love the way it is. It's beautiful. Somebody invented this. Somebody designed this. And the reason, and everybody in the world, this is the best part. Everybody in the world know capitalism works best in the United States of America. You know why? Because we have the most unconscious debt slaves here. It's absolutely amazing. Get your start here. Learn it here, and then you can go to any other country that has capitalism. It's just a little bit different, but it's all the same. The majority are debt slaves, and they don't know it. I'm gonna take I take that combination, and I take the combination of what I learned to help people out the narcissistic fog and empower themselves. Escape the narcissist, okay? Do whatever you need to do, escape the narcissist and empower yourself. That narcissist or any other narcissist will never be able to touch you again physically or mentally ever again. The narcissist I was with, she knows. You better believe she subscribes to both my channels. Believe that. They can't help themselves. She knows she could never ever even come close to doing what she used to do to me, let alone even talk on the phone to me. She can't even hear my voice unless she listens to these videos. That's the only way she's allowed. That's the only way I allow her to. You hear me? Are you listening? You are only allowed to listen to my voice on videos, and you're not going to stop. This is how you talk to them, people. You're not going to stop because you can't help yourself. I know you're there. You can't help yourself. Why? Because I left you. You give them a narcissistic injury when you leave them. You stick them because they don't believe. They think they have so much control of you. They think you're not. You don't have. They believe you don't even have your own brain. And when you leave them, they don't know what to do. Don't even know what to do. But thank you, baby. Now I'm gonna help billions of people escape people like you. You hear me? Billions. Make sure they never feel the pain that I felt to even get here because God gave me this. God gave me this journey on purpose because he knew I was strong enough to escape her because this is what it took to empower myself. I had to be prepared for what I'm telling you guys today, right now on the mic. I had to be prepared for this. It's beautiful here. I'm meeting new people just like me because they're easy to see. My life has I can't even explain the speed at which my life is moving right now. All because I believed in myself. I didn't know, I had no idea how I was going to get out of that situation. You hear me? I was away from my family across the United States in an apartment or in a townhouse that was under only her name, where she just loved that shit. She used to always threaten to kick me out, knowing I had nobody there, nobody. She knew it. She loved that. She loved it. And she took full advantage of it. I had no idea how I was going to get out of that till I asked God. I said, God, I need your help. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I have no money. All my family's across the United States. I can't go nowhere. All I have is my truck and my clothes. You hear me? That's it. That's all I had. Asked God, and he turned something that was literally impossible and made it happen. Next thing you know, I'm back across the United States, flourishing better than before I left. You hear me? My life is better because not only financially, I discovered 6 cents, people. 6 cents. And I'm not just a person that's saying, I'm just saying it. I'm a person that can prove it. That's the difference. That's what separates me from other people with gifts. Because There are clear, it is crystal clear there are people in on earth with gifts. That is clear. But there's not many people with gifts that can mathematically prove their gift to a person that doesn't understand gifts exist. You hear a person on the mic talking about, "Oh, I'm the whole world is going to know me." How many people you hear say that so confidently before it even happens? Why am I doing it? You probably ask yourself. Am I doing it to brag? Am I doing it to show off? Am I doing it? That's what I would think if I heard somebody talking like me. No, I'm telling you before it happens. So when it does happen, you'll understand and believe it, and you'll believe it within yourself. It's true. You'll say to yourself, it's true because he did say it. He said that back in 2024. He sure did. He said that. I already know, people. The world is who doesn't know. I remember I used to hear inspirational speakers say stuff like that. You have to know within. You have to know. You have to already know like it is. That all of that is true, people. All of it. Once you put in your mind like it's true, it happens. The reason why you probably hesitate because you're scared of the people's response to what you found. You got to ignore people that haven't found anything. No goals, no inspiration. That's mainly narcissistic people. The one I was with, her life was in shambles when I met her. I mean, nothing matched her words. Those are red flags. Everything I talked to her about on the phone, finally got to her house, nothing matched her words. I should have just left her right there. None of it matched. But here I am, the empath. Oh, I can help her better her life, make her. No, her life is like if her life is. I should have been like this. If her life is like this at this age, there's nothing I can do. That kind of stuff. It had me evaluate every person. This is all you got to do. It doesn't matter if it's family. It doesn't matter if it's your parents. Look at a person. All you got to do is look at their life. What are they doing? Are they responsible? Are they always late? Or are they mismanaging their time? Do they care about other people's time? All you gotta do is look at their life. They're showing you, and all you got to do is believe it. Do you want any of that to be part of your life? No. Then you got to put up boundaries. And the hardest boundaries to put up is going to be with the people you love. That's going to be the hardest. That's going to be the hardest. But it's going to be a necessity. And this is for those of you that have some boundaries that you need to put up with your parents, adult children. Your parents might have been doing something that's been bothering you for years, and you just ain't never stopped and talked to them about it. You need to do that. You sure better do that. Their response is irrelevant. I had to do that with my mother. Sure did. That was hard. That was very, hey, mom, when you do XYZ, that really bothers me. Can you stop doing that? Can you stop doing that, please? And then they do it again. You're like, hey, then she did it again. I was like, hey, remember last time I told you? I said, don't do that. Don't do that. And then she kind of blow it off like it's nothing. I was like, oh, boundary time. Ah, it's boundary time. That's it. Boundaries are crucial. Narcissists, I'm not calling my mom narcissist, but narcissists don't like boundaries. Put up a boundary. See what happens. You probably got a narcissist. You probably have a narcissist in your life. Possible, possible narcissist. I'm not going to say that because not saying that if your parents are doing something negative to you. Now, when I say bother you, I mean really bother you. It could be a saying, it could be something, nothing physical. I'm not saying nothing like that. I'm just saying something that bothers you that you need to talk to them about, but you're upset about the hey, that needs to happen. That needs to happen for you. You need to know. You need to know that they know because what I do now is that I give every single person I know the benefit of the doubt. If they do something to me, maybe they don't know. I don't say, I don't immediately turn around and say, "Oh, don't they know not to say or do that?" Maybe they don't. If they're doing it out loud, if they're saying something, they obviously don't know. This is how I look at everything. If somebody does something that's inappropriate in public or to me, they obviously don't know that they're doing it because they're doing it. So now it's my duty to tell them. Now, if I tell them and they continue to do it, I set up a boundary. That's it. I just set up a boundary because narcissists are usually the ones when you set up a boundary, they're the first one to say, "Hey, why are you doing this? How come you're not?" You got to remind them, "Hey, remember that time?" If you talk to them and tell them, it's easy to go to that point and say, "Hey, remember when I stopped and talked to you?" Say, "Hey, man, I told you not to do X, Y, Z, this and that. You did it again. Yeah, that's why I'm doing this." That's what you got to do. What's up, James? James says, well said. After a certain age, those toxic traits are set in stone. Wow. Okay. As much as we might want to fix a narcissist, it simply isn't possible. Okay. There's no way to force them to feel empathy. That you are exactly right. The only God is the only entity that can help narcissists. I know it's hard for people to accept, but they live in a certain perspective of who knows. You got to remember, people, who knows what happened in their childhood to make them this way? Who knows? That is not your problem. You have to accept that something happened, something. Only a doctor or God can help them. And they have to know that they have a problem. Whenever I run into narcissists, here, let me give you an example. I ran into a narcissist in business. Narcissists cannot stand it when you cut the energy supply off to them, positive or negative. They can't stand it when you cut them off. You got to cut them off. I have no problem not talking to a narcissist for weeks. I did that shit all the time with the narcissist, all the time. I would just not talk to her. It didn't matter to me. She would leave me alone. I would leave her alone. I was happy that she wasn't talking to me or arguing with me. And guess what? The first thing they do to try to change everything, use sex. You cannot listen. This is very important. I want everybody to listen to this. If you are with a narcissist and you know you are with one, stop having sex with them. Stop. If you ever want to wake up, if you ever want to leave that situation, if you ever want your mind to start being unclouded, stop being intimate with them. Stop being intimate with your abuser. When I started doing that, I slowly started. It was for a man that because that department in our relationship was never a problem, never. So that was very difficult for me. But I knew once I started realizing she was even taking that and using that against me, it started making me look at her different, turned off from her. I wasn't attracted to her in that way in my eyes. She just started looking ugly to me. And then I started noticing all the flaws that I normally would ignore because I was in love with her. They were just getting worse and worse, and I was just ready to leave. It was horrible. And sometimes she would even use that. Oh, you ain't gonna have sex with me. I guess I'll go out and get it with you. Already are. You think I don't know that you already are? It was so funny the way she would take something and try to turn it and use for the reason to go do something. You're already doing it. You are the only one pretending that I don't know. I already know. That's what I used to say to her. Well, I said that in my mind because I was just in a narcissistic fog. I just knew one day I'm gonna be out of here. I used to tell her that. I said, one day I'm not gonna look at you the way I say exactly that to her. One day I'm not gonna look at you the way I'm looking at you today. I'm not gonna look at you. And once my eyes change from looking at you that way, that's it. Cause I don't go back ever. Yeah, yeah, whatever, whatever. She just knew she had me trapped. I thought so too. I thought so too. I'm sure all her exes and boyfriends, they were all laughing at me because they were all having sex with her and stuff like that. And I didn't know, and I was paying for everything. I was like, you guys are the ones gonna be stuck with her, not me. I don't have any children by her. You do. I get to walk away and leave forever and not talk to her again. You guys are stuck meeting and talking and doing whatever you do for the next guy that's going to enter her life. Can you? I sometimes I imagine. I said, I bet you there's a guy or two in her life right now that don't even know what they're about to get themselves into. Ooh, because once you listen, once you say I love you to a narcissist, ooh, you just don't know what that means. They're like, cha-ching, got him, got him. Now I can start doing all. Now I can now I don't have to hide my stuff as much. Now I can do it out in the open. Now I'm gonna get them to accept it. She got me to accept a lot of stuff. You hear me? A lot. I learned so much about myself, and I can laugh about it today. It's funny today. It really is because I think about some of the stuff I just let slide by. I remember I came across her phone one time and I saw this guy text her. He said, "Hey, is this still your number?" And he texted her number and he had her. I was like, damn. I was like, why you always got Snapchat where you can have messages and messages disappear? All I had to do was say, "Do you have Snapchat?" Yeah, why you have it? You got to have a good reason. And if it wasn't a good reason, I would have just left her. Bye. Secret apps. She had multiple accounts under different social media names. All of that stuff. Listen, people, all of that is warning signs. Regular, normal people have usually just one social media account because they take their time more valuably, more valuable. That's too much time to try to manage and go to all these apps and remember. Why do all that when you're doing? Only people that do that is deceiving people. That's why they always come out with these secret apps because they're very profitable because all the people in that perspective cheat on each other. And remember, there's kids wrapped up in that perspective, people. They're all absorbing. They're being born, empty hard drive, completely don't know anything, brains developing, and then they're growing up in an environment of a narcissist. Some of those kids turn up to be adult narcissists. Not all of them, some of them do. Because I have some clients that grew up as a child of a narcissist, and it was hard. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't easy, but they still kept their brain, and now they got out of it and didn't get converted. Any questions? Yeah, let me see. Sorry about that. I accidentally pushed the wrong button there. Sorry. I'm on my phone doing it. So, guess. Let me see. Invite guest, copy, more. Oh, when it's on the phone, it's very different compared to the computer. All right. I post that link just in case anybody want to come up and talk about anything. Uh, maybe you want to share your experience with maybe you're in it and you need some advice on what to do. I can give you some advice of what they do, like tell you some of the a lot of the things the narcissist I was with, that might help you because, like I said, I had the worst kind. She was I guess she's considered a malignant narcissist, which is supposedly the worst kind to be with, right? But she was 10 years younger than me. Um, she had a young child and a grown up child, and she was still messing with both those baby fathers. Um, and I think a couple other dudes that probably would come into town or something. You could tell, like, every now and then, probably a guy she knew came into town, and she would probably start a fight on that weekend, or say she's going, "Hey, I'm going to a concert with my girlfriends," or some stupid nonsense on the 25th, and we're going to do this and that. Of course, no. Hey, did you have any pictures? No, we didn't take any pictures. Yeah, right. Though she was a person that took pictures everywhere, right? Everywhere we went, dinner and this and that. But she would always want me to take a picture of her by herself. Okay, let's get some pictures of us. Okay, let me just get this one by myself so she can send it to her friends, her guy friends. Like, oh, I'm out with my girlfriends having dinner, and then who knows the lies that they tell. That's just their life until the end of time. But I'm so happy to not have none of that in my life now. It's just beautiful. It's just so peaceful. It's just so to be able to have my stuff, set it somewhere. I know this sounds crazy because she used to always take my stuff and destroy it, throw it outside, throw it on the floor, bust it, anything that I cared about, right? It's so nice to be able to set my stuff down and not worry about it being moved or start getting this feeling inside of me when she got angry. I used to get this feeling inside of me. Oh my God, I gotta hide my stuff. Let me hide my truck keys, my wallet, and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. I had to hide everything. She would take it, throw it, destroy. Oh my goodness. I used to turn to her, I said, hey, do you notice that when I get upset, I don't go for your things? I don't try to destroy. That's you. That's not me. I'm like, okay, I gotta leave. I gotta leave you. I gotta leave you. I have to. I have to leave you. Now I'm free to help millions of people. I'm so excited. I am so excited to be traveling around the world to help millions of people that are stuck in the same situation, se- talk to the people that might have escaped. I'm excited. I can't, I'm, man. Mm, mm, mm. And listen, and it will be thanks to the narcissist I was with. She's gonna follow my whole career. This is how beautiful it is. She's gonna follow my whole career, knowing that it was created because of her. Oh, right now in the background, listen, we had another business together and we were very good at it together. Well, it was really me. So once I separated, I got my own. Now I'm the dominant one in that business. Now she's not even my competitor. I don't even, hey, listen, I don't even care what she does, what she does. She's none of my business. She tried to stop me in that too. Didn't stop anything. Just help. She actually helped me. She actually solidified my new business name in this particular business that we're in. She just like pretty much said, "Oh, this guy's legit." Okay, cool. Thank you. Now I don't have to go through all the other unnecessary stuff. Oh man, God is good, man. God is good. God is good. I tell you, God is good. Well, since there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. If you catch it later, please do leave a comment. Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone.